When you launch Corel Painter 2017 for the first time, you'll be greeted with the welcome screen. The welcome screen has several tabs up here at the top. Let's start with Learn. Learn has a list of helpful tutorials for beginners. For example, if you want to learn how to use the texture and dab stencils for photo painting, there's a tutorial I created here. And you can scroll down through the list and there's lots of tutorials that cover all of the new features and some of the basics of painting in Corel Painter. The next tab is Get Content, and you can use this tab to buy brush packs. Brush packs have collections of brushes that can do all kinds of different effects like fire and light and fur and atmosphere. You can click the little arrow here to see previews of the different brushes within each pack. So check these out if you're interested. I'm going to go to the next tab, and that is Get Started. Get Started is a good launching point for creating a new canvas. For example, you have a shortcut for creating a new image. You can pull up your recent documents. You can open a document. You can open document templates. You can configure your brush tracking. If you want to calibrate your pen, let's say your pen works too heavy or too light when you draw, you can just draw your ideal brush stroke here, and that'll calibrate your pen based on that pressure. If you lose the welcome screen, you can find that again under Help, Welcome. You can also configure your color management. Color management lets you choose a color profile, which controls the depth of color or the amount of color available in your painting. Without going into too much detail about color management right now, let's just go ahead and change this to Adobe RGB 1998. If Adobe RGB 1998 isn't showing up here in this list, you'll want to look in the resource files for the PDF that's called Adobe RGB, and that'll show you how to install it. It's free and it'll increase the number of colors available to you in your paintings. So I want to keep that as my default. I'll go ahead and click on OK. I'm going to bring back that welcome screen. If we look over here on the right, we can also choose layouts here. For example, if you're used to an older version of Painter, you might want to try Classic. These layouts are going to arrange your workspace in different ways. So this is Classic. It looks a lot like Painter 2016 and older. We can also change these layouts here under Layout, and we can switch to them really quickly. Let's try New to Painter. And now you can see the layout changed. Now we have the Brushes and Hints palette drawer here, which gives us access to the brush selector, and we can just go through the brush selector and experiment with different brushes really quickly just to get a feel for what Corel Painter can do. And we also have the Hints panel, which tells us what each of the brush technologies can do. So we can see we have a dab stencil category selected and a dab stencil brush. This will tell us all about what the dab stencil technology can do. If we scroll down here, we have all these nice visual aids here. Let's take a look at some of the other layouts. We'll go to Window, Layout, and there's layouts for Simple, which is a minimal user interface, be very useful for painting on a tablet or a small screen. And then we have some layouts for concept art, illustration, fine art, photo art, and manga art, which you're welcome to experiment with if you like. Now, it's very important to note that if you customize any of these layouts found in the layout menu, and what I mean by customize is maybe you go through here and you decide that you want to tinker around with some of these advanced features, and you're going to open up some palettes, and maybe you'll put some custom brushes on the screen and customize it a bit. Maybe you'll even change some things, like for instance, maybe you'll go into the color panel here and you'll turn off the color info to hide those sliders. By making these changes, what this has done is this has altered this layout from its original state, meaning that if I click back on this same layout again, which was New to Painter, it's going to reset the workspace and I'm going to lose those customizations. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to click on that same workspace that I had selected, and you can see that the color palette goes back to normal. I don't have that custom brush anymore, and I don't have that palette that I put on screen. So if you're going to be customizing these layouts and making changes like that, what you'll need to do is you'll need to save this layout as a custom layout by going to Save Layout. Then you can give it a name, and then click OK, and then you'll have your new custom layout saved. Now if I go to Window, Layout, I have Custom here, and I'll be able to keep all those customizations. If you decide you don't want a layout anymore, you can always go to Delete Layout, and then select the layout that you want to delete. I'll just delete this custom layout. If you want to quickly toggle between two different layouts, you can also quick switch between them. I can go to Quick Switch, and I can select Layout 1, and then I can make that simple. And Layout 2, I want Layout 2 to be Classic. So now I can go to Window, Layout, Quick Switch, and I can go to Toggle Layout. Now, Quick Switch isn't very quick if you have to go to the Window menu and then go to Layout, and then go to Quick Switch, and then go to Toggle Layout. It's really much easier to assign Toggle Layout to a keyboard shortcut. So let's take a look at how to do that. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, Customize Keys, and we'll go to the Window menu. This is under Application Menus. Then we'll look for Layout. We'll click the plus button next to Layout. We'll locate Quick Switch. We'll click the plus next to that. We'll select Toggle Layout, and right now it doesn't have anything assigned to it. So we can type in our keyboard shortcut. Maybe we'll make it F11. If you do pick a keyboard shortcut that's already taken, it'll tell you down here. Right now it's saying that F11 is used by presentation mode command. Maybe we'll try something else like F12. F12 isn't being used by anything, so that's safe to use. We'll click on OK. And now if I hit F12 on my keyboard, it's gone ahead and quick switched, which was actually quick this time. I'll quick switch again to go back to the simple layout. And at any time, if I want to change these layouts to different kinds of layouts, I'll just go up here to Layout, quick switch, and I can change Layout 1 and Layout 2. Let's go back to our welcome screen. And the last tab that we have here is Get Inspired. And Get Inspired has example artwork from Corel Painter Masters and Corel Painter students from around the world. So I definitely recommend you browse through this because there's a lot of great artwork in here. So that's it for the welcome screen. You can of course close the welcome screen with this X in the top right. Or if you don't want this to show at startup every time you launch Corel Painter, you can uncheck this box. I'm going to click the X, and then if I decide I want to get back to the welcome screen later, I can always access it here.